Hello guys and welcome back. We have a new Age of Empires 2 DLC announced, and this is the Chronicles Battle for Greece DLC. First of all, just want to thank Microsoft for providing me with a key for this particular preview for you. And the Chronicles Battle for Greece is essentially Age of Empires 2 set in the ancient setting, which is what a lot of people were saying that the Return of Rome DLC should have been. It should have just been ancient AOE2, and that's exactly what we've got here. So something that a lot of people were crying out for Return of Rome. This one, it's battles for Greece. So I can't actually show you anything really for the grand campaign. There is a bit of a embargo on that for the moment, but as you can see, this is the grand campaign UI. There's actually a lot of missions. If we sort of scroll through these, there's loads. I think there's what, we've got 15, maybe a bit more than 15, maybe 20, but there's a lot anyway. As you can see, it's set in 499 BC, and we do have 3 civilizations that come in this particular DLC. We've got the Spartans, we have also the Athenians, and we have the Achaemenids. Achaemenids? I can't pronounce it, but anyway, the Persians. They're kind of like the Persians, aren't they? I don't think they were. I think they got conquered by the Persians, but you get the drift. You get the drift. Now, these are not going to be playable in ranked 1v1 in the main AOE2 game. However, they are available in quick play and unranked lobbies. So let's have a little look at these particular civilizations' tech trees. So we do have the Achaemenids, and as you can see, it's quite a few bonuses and techs and stuff, but they do essentially have the exact same tech tree as well, it's slightly different, but it is essentially an AOE2 tech tree, which does make it compatible with other AOE2 civs. Not like the AOE1 civs, that's just a completely different game, to be honest. This is an AOE2 game that is essentially just been reskinned. So for these civilizations, you can see they've actually changed the age names as well. So we've got the Archaic Age, Civic Age, Classical Age, and Imperial Age. But essentially it is exactly the same. We'll go through the bonuses in a minute, but let's have a look at the actual tech tree itself and just see how it differs to the normal one. Essentially, the units, or the core units, are exactly the same as what you get in AOE2. They've just been reskinned, renamed. So for example, we've got bowmen. You'll see the unit stats are all exactly the same, the costs and what have you. Laminated bowman, that's your crossbowman, and then we've got recurve bowman, which is the arbalest. Skirmishers, elite skirmishers, that's all exactly the same. There is a special unit here, which is from the, I think it's for the Greek civs, Spartans and Athenians. I don't know if Spartans get it actually. Let me have a look. I know the Athenians do. Okay, so it's an Athenian only unit, that one. The Gastrophetorus, whatever that means, but it's an advanced unit with a powerful attack. 17 attack archer, but it is inaccurate at long range. Got no pierce damage. It's got quite low health, although the health is comparable to everything else. But yeah, 17 attack on an archer, which is quite interesting. But just say it's vulnerable to archers and skirmishers, but it does have 1 pierce armor. No, it doesn't have any pierce armor. It's melee armor. Yeah, interesting. It might just be that it's so inaccurate that if you're a long way away, or even just normal archer range away, you're going to get missed. Maybe. I don't know. It's got 7 range though, which is pretty good. Certainly more than the arbalest as a base range. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, essentially it's exactly the same sort of tech tree. They've just been reskinned. So the cav archers look a little bit different. If I compare those to, I don't know, let's go on Armenians, you can see the unit looks a little bit different. Looks as though they've mainly turned it from being grey to being brown. in terms of its design, but it looks very similar. I mean, you can tell it's a cav archer, and that's a good thing with these. You can still tell what the units are from them being upgraded. So levy, that's your militia. Maceman, that's your men-at-arms. Long swordsman. We do have Paragon as well, which is the champion line. Spearman, guardsman, elite guardsman, so that's your normal standard spearman line. I mean, your elite guardsman looks fairly similar to a halberdier. I'd probably say the guardsman is quite different, but it's something you'd get used to, I suppose. Greek civs do have hoplites as well, so they have access to hoplites, which are a regional infantry unit that gives nearby hoplites +1 melee armor. So they have like a bit of a stacking armor effect with having nearby units, probably the same way as the Manaspa thing does. So that's quite an interesting thing. I suppose that's good because it kind of represents that shield wall, kind of mimics the shield wall that you would have from traditional sort of Greek hoplites in their little formation. Can't remember what it's called, but the little formation that they have. So yeah, that's those. They're anti-infantry, I think. Yeah, strong base infantry. They do get the standard sort of blacksmith upgrades. Got 55 health, 10 attack, and then 2-1 in terms of the armor. So it's stronger than the swordsman line. There's the difference between the hoplites and the swordsman. The swordsmen are strong versus buildings as well as the hoplites are pretty much just anti-infantry. I mean, sure, they'll do damage against buildings. Do have 1 extra attack and 1 extra melee armor. But they do have 5 less HP, so it'd be interesting to see how they kind of compare to each other. I don't know if maybe there'll be some hidden anti-infantry bonus with the hoplites, possibly. But yeah, they do have a lot of the same techs that have just been renamed. So baggage carriers we've got there instead of I can't remember what it's called now, my brain stopped working. What is it? Squires, that's the one. So baggage handlers and carriers instead of squires. We do get arson still. Stable, pretty much just the same. So scout cavalry, light cavalry, but they have raiders instead of hussar. But all the stats and upgrades are all the same. It's just purely a reworked or reskinned unit. Same as with the knight line, we've got lancers, shock cavalry, and imperial cavalry. And again, you can kind of see, certainly if we look at that imperial cavalry, it looks like the paladin. You know, it looks fairly similar still. It's still recognizable as the paladin. But then we do have for the Achaemenids the war chariot. So war chariot is basically it's just got trample damage. It's anti-infantry cavalry with trample damage, strong versus infantry and massed units, weak versus spearmen, as you would expect. But yeah, it's got some trample damage. 8 attack, 1 melee armor, no pierce armor, 100 HP. So fairly comparable to the lancer unit we've got here, or the knight. It's just got a little bit less attack and slightly less, well, a little less armor as well. Well, quite a bit less armor, to be fair. -2 pierce and -1 melee armor, so quite a bit of difference there, but generally the same. Like I say, they've got that that trample damage, which is going to be quite useful. Siege workshop is exactly the same as in most of the other AOE2 civs, as is the blacksmith. That's exactly the same, so you get the same upgrades in there. This is where it gets really different. The dock has been split into 2 things, 2 separate buildings. So we have a port and we have a shipyard. The port is where you would have most of your economic building ships and technologies, so fishing ships, merchant ships, transport ships. But we also have this new unit called a Lembos, which is a scout, basically. So like a little scout unit, which you do get in the Dark Age, which is quite interesting. So it has 2 attack, so that could certainly cause a few annoyances. It's not really going to dismantle anything with 2 attack, but it could certainly help get an early lead in water. But that gets upgraded and gets upgraded to an elite Lembos in the Imperial Age, which, to be fair, looking at the stats, they're not too bad. I think 10 attack, 6 pierce damage, which is quite a bit. Sorry, pierce armor, which is quite a bit. Only 3 range though. They've not got much range. But they could certainly do a job. They're strong against galleys and catapult ships. So not so much the triremes, but yeah, triremes are the other units. So we've got the shipyard. This is your main army, if you like, army production building for the water map. So we've got incendiary raft, just assuming it's just your demo ship equivalent. You've got galleys, all-purpose warship with ranged attack, strong versus monoremes and incendiary rafts. And then we've got the monoreme, which is good versus catapult ships, and Lembos. Yeah, doesn't seem as though there's any like fire ships, but there is still that kind of rock paper scissors thing going on there. So I would assume, I don't know which one's which really. Strongest, I would probably suggest the biremes, triremes are your normal ones, and the galley is the fire ship equivalent, just to confuse things. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's the other way around. But yeah, anyway, that's those. I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, you get a catapult ship, which is pretty good. And then of course we do have some other techs. You can actually get a Leviathan. It's a very long range anti-building warship, so probably similar to like your cannon galleons, but it's their equivalent for here. Pierce armor for ships with the hippozomatter technology. Then we have the university. So university, it's called an academy here. Again, we've got the same technologies. So target practice, that's ballistics, basically. Pretty much same technologies. There might be some variants. Got flaming arrows. That's probably similar to chemistry in terms of the effect it has. It's obviously not for gunpowder. It's not going to give you gunpowder, but it does increase the attack strength of arrows. Yeah, so have a little look through those. I'm not going to go through them all here, but just to give you a rough idea. Yeah, upgrade your guard towers to bastions. So it's all the same stuff. It's just renamed, reskinned. Castles, they don't have castles, they have forts. It's the same thing. It looks like a castle in game. But we can see that they have their own unique units. They actually have, and this is, I think, quite cool, they actually have multiple unique technologies, and you can choose one of them per age. So these are your 2 age 3 technologies. So for the Achaemenids, we've got Sparabaras, which spearmen give +1 pierce armor to nearby units, which is quite interesting. Could be pretty good. But if you research the other one, you can't research Sparabaras. If you've researched read arrows, so you get to choose which one you want. So this one is archers, ranged immortals, and galleys fire 25% faster. Or you've got scythe chariots and Carder in the Imperial Age. So scythe chariots just increases the trample damage for your war chariots, and Carder infantry and archers plus 15% HP. So depending on which kind of army comp you're going for, that could be really, really good. So the Immortal, just seeing as I'm here, the Immortal is their unique unit, and it's a bit like what everyone wanted Samurai to be, basically. They can switch between melee and ranged attack. They shoot really fast as well, actually, from what I've seen. So yeah, quite a high attack rate on those. Not going to go into too much detail on them. I suppose you'll probably want to know what the stats are. 50 HP, then cost 50 for food, 20 gold, 10 attack, and 3 pierce armor. So that's quite good. It doesn't actually give you the stats for the ranged version here, so I'd probably have to check that in game. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention: trebuchets have been replaced with palintonons, which is basically, it just looks like a massive like ballista, which shoots you projectiles. That's pretty good. In the temple, we've got priestess here, and again we've got some of the same technologies from that we used to, herbal medicine and so on, but we do have evocatio. Priestess can convert enemy buildings, so you know that's your redemption basically. So lots of the same technologies, they're just renamed and they've got a different logo for them, or different icon I should say. Yeah, so if a group of priestesses convert an enemy unit, only one of them must rest afterwards. So yeah, it's just kind of rehashed stuff. Now technologies in the town centre pretty much the same. You'll see here we do have some extra things here, and that's purely for the Achaemenids. They can upgrade their town centres each age, and they do stack as well. So you can upgrade it with an economic town centre, which increases the villager gather rates by 15% in the nearby area. It works in this, it's got like the same sort of area of effect that the it's not, is it the Armenians? No, the other ones, Georgians, temples do. Churches, not temples. Georgian churches have that sort of aura around them, or area of effect. Same sort of thing, but it does it with your town centres, and it does stack as well. So like I say, if you do it per age, it really stacks it up quite a bit, which is pretty good. They have military town centres, so they make the nearby production buildings work 50% faster. Now, obviously there are costs involved in upgrading these, but certainly with a forward town centre with a load of military around, it could be pretty good. And then you could have defensive town centres. Again, that could be quite good even for a forward one. Increase the durability and firepower of the town centre, but it also makes all nearby units attack 15% faster. So again, if you think about these sort of stacking up, pretty sure it stacks up. I did one town centre twice with I think at least with the economic upgrade. So yeah, that was good. Did those. Mining camp, lumber camp, you know, same old upgrades, and pretty much the same with everything else as well. So yeah, there are some differences, but it is essentially just a reskinned normal tech tree with obviously a nice little splitting off of ports and shipyards. I think that's quite good actually. I don't know how much the shipyards cost. 150. Ports cost 125 wood. So in terms of the buildings themselves then, the Civ bonuses themselves, Achaemenids, shipyards work 15% faster, town centres can be individually upgraded, and stable technologies are researched 50% faster. They've got the immortal unit, which is an infantry slash archer, and we've kind of looked at those unique techs already. So they can choose either sparrow barrows or reed arrows in age 3, and then scythe chariots or carder in age 2. Team bonus, houses are built 100% faster. So yeah, that's good if you suddenly realise you're about to be housed. Which happens to me all the time. So then following on from there, in terms of the actual tech tree itself and what units they get, I mean, we've kind of covered this a little bit already, but it looks as though they get most of what you would expect. Cavalry archer, they get the heavy cavalry archer. They don't get the champion, but they do get. It's not even so. It's not really champion. It's the double-handed swordsman. There's no champion upgrade necessarily. So it probably works similar to like the legionary in terms of how they have the sort of balance between longswords and champions. What does that say? Weak versus archers at long range. Is that quite a standard? It might be quite a standard description for infantry, but they've got a full stable. So fully upgraded like paladins, hussars. In there you can see they get all of the upgrades. So apart from the no full upgrade. So stable is where you want to be with the Achaemenids. They get everything. Almost a full siege workshop, just heavy scorpion missing. Archers are generally okay, they're just missing the last armor. They do get bracer. Likewise with the infantry, they're missing the last armor as well. So yeah, definitely very cav focused, I would suggest here for this civilization. And it looked as though they get kind of mixed bag really. In terms of the monastery, so they're not getting the range, they're not getting the 15 plus 15 HP, but apart from that they're getting all the other ones. It's a bit of a shame. Not the best monks, but not too bad. Let's have a look at the Athenians next then. So the Athenians, they have quite a cool little mechanic where their town centre has a policy that can be changed between economic, naval and military, and that basically influences the bonus that the town centre is going to be providing, which is pretty cool. Quite a nice little mechanic. Changing the policy becomes progressively more expensive, up to a maximum of 150 gold. So the more you change it, it does get a bit more expensive, but certainly gives you a little bit more flexibility throughout the game as you go on. Lumberjacks slowly generate food. Is an interesting one. So they must have a little bit of a food trickle. And hoplites move 15% faster. Be interested to see how what the rates are for the lumberjacks. I'm sure Spirit of the Law will do a video on that. But let's have a look at the tech tree. We'll come to the unique text when we get to the castle. But the tech tree looks as though archers have pretty much got the full line, other than Parthian tactics and heavy cav archers. So you're not going to be going for heavy cavalry archers here, but you do get thumb ring. You get full arbalest sort of line with the recurve bowman at the end there in Imperial, but you do get the Gastrofetorus, which is only unlocked once you've got chemistry, or the chemistry equivalent, so flaming camel. So okay, that explains why it's got such a high attack. The Gastrofetorus is essentially the hand cannoneers. There you go. So yeah, that's your hand cannoneers basically. Interesting. So military, barracks wise, pretty much a full complement of stuff. They don't have battle drills. Whatever battle drills is. So swordsmen receive +3 attack, +1 versus standard buildings, +2 versus eagle warriors, and +1 line of sight. That must be a Spartan only thing. I didn't see battle drills on the Achaemenids. No. So Spartans will have the battle drills technology. It's quite interesting. +3 attack on your swordsman. That's going to be pretty mental. And +1 versus buildings. I mean, if that's sort of kind of stacked on top of arson, the building damage, that'd be pretty good. Stable wise, not great. There's no husbandry, so they're going to be pretty slow, but they do get bloodlines, and they do get the shock cavalry. But yeah, it's nothing to kind of shout about, but it's not too bad. They'll do a job for you from that sort of night line. They just won't be very fast at doing it. Siege workshop, pretty much full complement of siege apart from the siege ram. Blacksmith, pretty much full of everything, but yeah, they're missing the last armor upgrade for the stable. So yeah, stable you're not going to be like going too heavily into. You'll probably want to be going archers and infantry for them, probably with some siege. Looks like they're getting pretty much everything in their port and shipyard. But yeah, they've just kind of renamed a lot of the technologies and stuff. The academy, everything, they're getting everything there in the academy, which is pretty good. And then we have their fort. They have a unique unit called the Strategos. So Athenian heavy infantry that gives +1 attack to nearby units. So they're using, a bit of a Manaspa bonus again here. So they're really sort of taking advantage of this Manaspa bonus and using it in different ways. Strong versus infantry. 15 attack, 60 HP, +1 melee armor, no pierce armor, so should be able to bring them down with some archers easily enough. Yeah, quite strong though. Certainly having that +1 attack to nearby units. It does say nearby units. It's not just limited to nearby infantry, which is interesting. I suppose it's not quite the Manaspa bonus. The Manaspa bonus would kind of stack on them, wouldn't it? And only them. Well, and the knights, I suppose, but it's fairly similar to the Manaspa bonus. So that's quite interesting. So let's have a look at the unique texts. We've got Taxiarchs, which is Strategy. So the unit given an additional +1 attack. Wow, to melee units. And their aura becomes 33% larger. That sounds quite strong. And then we have the other thing, which is the other one you can choose. Skirmishers receive a +4 charge attack on their projectiles. So we're quite familiar with charge attacks. If you get that, skirmishers get a +4. So which could be really, really strong actually for skirmishers. Is interesting. So 2 very strong unique texts there to choose from. Obviously, just depends on what you're up against. Looking at the Imperial Age ones, we've got the Ace Fora. 33% of hoplite gold cost is replaced with an additional food cost. Okay, and then we've got Bowman and Gastrifatori. Move 10% faster. So 2 fairly good ones there. Full Mulk Tech Tree. It's good, so very strong on that side of things. So then we get to the town centres. We've got the policies. So economic policy, villages work faster. So I'm wondering if they'll have us, if this just affects everything. I've not actually tested the Athenians. I'm not sure if that just affects every villager, or if it's got an aura like the Achaemenid one does. I think it affects everything. Naval policy, yeah, it will do because we've got a naval policy as well. So archers and warships train faster and cost 15% less gold, which is pretty good. And then there's a military policy. Melee units train faster and gain gold for killing units. So certainly if you're going down that melee infantry line, which you probably will do with the Athenians, you're definitely going to want to use that one. But all of those would be really good to kind of change from throughout the game, and that's probably why they've done it. So you'd start off with the economic policy. Once you get into probably the late feudal age, maybe you'll switch to, you could switch to the naval one if you're going for archers, just to save on the gold cost in the feudal age. Just help you get up a bit quicker. And then maybe later on, if you've gone into that sort of infantry style attack, you could switch to military policy. But you might just leave it on economic policy, to be fair, and get quite a good bonus throughout the whole game. Be interesting to see how much faster they do work. Does it say on? No, it doesn't say in the main bonus bit, but yeah, that's what you've got to choose from. Market, sorry, mining camp, lumber camp, market, all the same. Mill, all the same. You get everything. So yeah, pretty strong. So be interesting to see how some of these stack up against our usual standard civs, but thankfully they're not going to be in the main game. Quite like to see Romans get a little bit of a reskin to be in line with these a little bit more. And then we've got the Spartans. So we do get the Spartans, which is fantastic. So they get a polemarch, which is created for free in both the Civic Age and the Classical Age. So it's a bit like a little hero unit. It doesn't seem overly strong, so I suppose it's good just to have him for scouting, but I think you just get progressively better as you go through the ages. But their villages and fishing ships drop off 10% more food. That's very handy. Very handy, actually. And then the elite hoplites available in a classical age, so they do get their elite, their imperial upgrade one age earlier, which is fantastic. So units have got the polemarch and the Hippias, which is an infantry unit, and the team bonus barracks technologies research 50% faster, which is pretty good. We'll look at the unique techs again a little bit later, but looking at the Spartans, they're not got really much going for them in the Imperial Age from the range. So, you know, they don't basically get crossbowmen, they get cavalry archer and castle age, but they don't get any of the Imperial upgrades. They do get thumb ring though, so certainly you know up until you advance into Imperial Age, you can go down the route with those. You're not going to want them late game. Barracks, full barracks, including every single technology, so as you would expect, very infantry orientated, and they do have that battle drills technology where swordsmen receive +3 attack, +1 versus buildings, 2 against the warriors, and 1 line of sight. So pretty strong bonus to have. And again, as you'd probably expect, the stable is rubbish. It's even worse than Athenians, because the Athenians at least had shock cavalry. So these will not go any further than knights and light cavalry, essentially. They do get bloodlines. They do get husbandry this time, though, so that there is a bit of a trade-off there, I suppose. But, I mean, I'd still rather have cavalier, I think, just for the late game options. Exactly the same siege as the Athenians, so just missing heavy scorpion. Blacksmith, not bad blacksmith though, to be fair. I mean, they're missing the final archer armor, which we've kind of already established we're not going to want to go archers, certainly in the Imperial Age, but certainly the first couple of ages they're an option. Certainly if you're playing for a Castle Age all in, it should be all right with that. But certainly yeah, infantry, full upgrades. Even the stable's got full upgrades as well. Looks as though they've pretty much got everything in the port apart from shipwrights, and in the shipyard they're just missing the final galley upgrade. Not sure obviously how beneficial that would, or detrimental that would be. Academy, quite a lot missing from the academy, so obviously not the most intelligent people in Sparta. It's just purely fighting that they're good at, which kind of makes sense, I suppose. They do get ballistics and a few other technologies, flaming arrows, they get that as well, but yeah, a lot of the other stuff they're not getting. Architecture, masonry, fortified walls they're not getting, treadmill crane, siege engineers, yeah, quite a few techs they're not getting. They only get, oh, they don't get stone walls, so they only get palisade walls, so that'd be why there's no fortified wall technology. In terms of the fort, then we've got the Hippias. Hippias is a heavy infantry with high HP, so it's got 80 HP. Strong versus infantry and archers. Well, strong versus archers. Wow, yeah, it's got 4 pierce damage, pierce armor, 2 melee armor, 9 attack. So a bit like a Huskell then, I would suggest. Interesting. Yeah, we've still got the Palintonon, Trebuchet equivalent. So we've got to choose from for the unit technology. We've got Helot levies, spearmen, skirmishers, and villagers train 50% faster. Blimey, training villagers 50% faster. That's pretty good. But also you trash. I mean, by that point you're going to have a fairly decent economy anyway, so it's not going to be massively OP in terms of being able to train villagers much quicker. It's probably more from recovering better from being raided. Hoplites and monoremes +1 attack for every 10 nearby military units for a maximum of 3. So that sounds more like the Manaspa bonus, doesn't it? But again, they're definitely using that kind of effect a lot. It just seemed to be like some of the bonuses have been quite influenced by that particular DLC. Research Crypteria. No, Cryptea. Infantry receive 33% less bonus damage. Again, if you're going down that infantry route, you're going to want to get that one. And then we've got warships train 50% faster and forts slowly generate gold. Oh, so your castles can generate gold, which is interesting. I think this one's quite good. You can either go down the naval route or you've got the infantry route to go with them. In terms of the temple, missing a few bits. So no herbal medicine, no syncretism, which is converting the enemy monks. Araspice, so conversion range is gone, and fervor is gone as well. But you do get everything else. So then we have the town centre. We can see there's actually a few little bits different on the town centre here. So these are in relation to the polymorph. There's sort of like polymorph technologies. Again, you can choose one or the other. So let's have a look at what the polymorph actually is. So it's a powerful heavy infantry unit. It was me saying it didn't seem that powerful. That makes nearby military units attack 15% faster. It's immune to conversion and slowly regenerates HP. Becomes stronger at each age, and you're limited to 1 at a time. So yeah, it's like a hero unit that buffs your units then. So just give all of your units a faster attack, which is interesting. Fairly similar to kind of what you would expect from the Centurion unit with the Romans in some respects. So it's kind of taken a bit of that as well. 40 HP. I mean, this is in feudal age. 40 HP. Well, civic age, age 2. 40 HP. Oh, quite high pierce armor. 3 pierce armor in age 2 for attack. That could be quite interesting. But yeah, you can upgrade it so their aura radius is increased. Also makes nearby military units regenerate HP. Is that technology, and then the other technology, aura radius increased, also makes nearby military units move 15% faster. I mean, I think for me, I'm going to go for the one that generates HP. I think that was me. Okay, and then there are some further technologies you can research for them. Skeuophory. Oh dear, my pronunciations are awful. Polymorphs get +2 attack and receive a shield against projectiles. So you probably, I think you do actually see the unit change a little bit. I think it gets the shield added to the character, which is quite good. So +2 attack and receives a shield, and then you can upgrade it further to get +50 HP and the train 33% faster. So it's one of those units that you can keep training. You know, once it dies, you can get another one. probably got a bit of a cooldown, but yeah, so that could be pretty good. I mean, it ends up with plus 50 HP, 90 HP in total. Probably increases as you go as well anyway. Nothing else really quirky about the town centre. Yeah, the pole mark doesn't give any eco bonus or anything. It's just it makes your units fight faster. And again, we've got pretty much a full eco technology tree apart from the final gold shaft mining upgrade. That's it. That's your different civs. So I think we'll leave it there for this one. So let me know what you think in the comments. If I'm honest, from what I've played of the campaigns, it's really good. It's probably the best DLC that there's been, certainly from a campaign point of view. If I remember rightly, the campaigns do whatever you do in the previous mission does influence the upcoming missions, which is really good. It's not something we've had before. And one key thing to say, I forgot to mention, this is actually been developed by Capture Age rather than Forgotten Empires. So it's been developed by Capture Age. They've got the DLC here, and also part of the Capture Age team is the people who did the Rome at War mod, which is what everyone was crying out for the Rome DLC to have been, basically. So they've actually got the team from the Rome at War mod working on this. It's fantastic. So that's it for this one then, guys. Thank you very much. Let me know in the comments what you think. I don't think these civs will be coming to ranked, but certainly you can play them in standard lobbies. And it looks a bit like this in terms of the lobby system. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'll see you on the next one.